It's now time for Me and My Roku with your host, Peter Clay.
Discovery Plus, A+.
Incidentally, this is Peter.
So we have a voicemail now from Peter.
Pete, you are not.
Not everybody sounds like Peter Clay.
More CEOs named Peter.
Peter Clay is here today.
Holy crap, it's Peter.
Pete, are you able to say something nice?
Well, hello again, everybody, and welcome to another fun-filled, fun fact, New Year's-ish edition of Me and My Roku. I'm your host, Peter Clay. Welcome aboard. Well, we made it. It's over. The holidays are over. We got through it, took a little time off there just to chill out and watch some Roku. For the most part, not much else to do, really, but that's okay. We're going to get through. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, phew, 2020's over and all that stuff. Now 2021, hey, nothing's changed. At least as far as 2021 goes, at least we know where we're at and we're moving forward, and hopefully each day gets better and better. We're not caught off guard like we were last year and all that stuff. But some people think that, wow, now 2020's gone, everything's going to be better now. Well, one day at a time, as we say. And that's what we say here in the cord-cutting, cord-slaying universe, streaming, all that stuff, one day at a time, because you don't know what's going to be there tomorrow or today or anything, what's coming, what's going, all that stuff. And that's why I come here every now and then and just say, hey, this is what I do, type of thing. A lot of things out there trying to tell you what to watch, what they're watching, and all that stuff. And I try not to do that as much, maybe as a point of reference. I'll probably talk more about that on this show than any other show that I've done, type of thing, but just as a point of reference type of thing. And just to know that there's a guy out there who's doing something and say, hey, I've been thinking about doing that, or I want to do that, or you just like to listen to podcasts and you just need something to fill in till I get to wait, don't tell me type of thing, or whatever your next podcast is. So I'm here for you and all that stuff, and hopefully you can be there for us. So as always with podcasting, it's always nice to have a cat on my lap and all that stuff right when I'm recording, but that's what we'd like to do here. So, hey, so I was off for a little while, so we got a bunch of stuff to get to, so let's get started.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
All right, then. Well, during my time off, I did spend a lot of time on my Roku and all that stuff, discovered a couple of things and all that stuff, and then got to actually watch some of these things I've been talking about for some time now. That was a good thing. Also listening to a lot of podcasts and all that stuff, getting caught up on that stuff. And there's a couple of issues that are coming up in the cord-cutting, streaming universe and all that stuff that are starting to pop up that I'm hearing people talk about in the tech world and all that stuff that are starting to get a little bit under my skin, that I thought I'd share some of my thoughts with you here as well. Maybe we can clear a couple things up so that in case you hear some things and all that stuff, then you go, okay, that's just one person's issue and all that stuff. Don't let this be a wave of things going on and all that stuff. Once again, I don't care about if you have Roku, Amazon Fire, Chromecast, or any of those things. I'm just saying for myself personally, I prefer the Roku and all that stuff for the most part. I have a lot of the other things and all that stuff, and there are things that I enjoy about some of those other things as well. But when it comes down to it, and when I have to recommend something to somebody, and especially if I have to help when they get it and all that stuff, it's basically a turnkey operation. The hardest thing about getting a Roku is just setting up the account with Roku. That's about it. And that's just putting in your email address and setting up the account. That's it. Once it fires up and all that stuff and you're connected and all that stuff, boom, you're off and running and all that stuff. Not that the other ones are just tremendously difficult. It's just Roku, just for my way of thinking and all that stuff. So when somebody has an opinion on something, I'm not automatically, well, you're wrong and I hate you and all that stuff, and I'm never listening to you again. There's a couple issues that are coming up. And it's not that I have a problem with their opinion or anything like that. It's just that they're influencing other people and all that stuff. And again, that creates a wave and all that stuff. And then this thought flow goes down the chain and all that stuff. And then that's where some things that are pretty easy to take care of. Here's another example of Clark Howard, who just recently retired. Had a radio show for years, and then a podcast as well, and all that stuff. And here's a guy who's trying to do what I'm doing and all that stuff. He says, hey, I found a way to do things and all that stuff. But after a while, again, if you listen to the listeners are influencing him, and it's just like they're waiting by bated breath on everything that he says and all that stuff. Well, Clark, give me another deal. What's going on here? Should I sell all my stuff and put it into a Roth IRA and all that stuff? And it seemed like he was kind of feeding off of that after a while and not getting to the main crux of what I'm trying to do here. Is like, hey, look, here's the situation. This is what I do. And you can do it too. All I care about is that you just do it. I don't care if you do it exactly like me. And I'm not saying do this step 1, step 2, step 3 type of thing. And all that stuff. So I'm hearing two things in the tech world that are kind of getting it. One is that the cost of streaming is like once you get all the things to stream with, you're paying the same much as cable. And I don't want to say the word myth because that's not the proper use of that word, but that's kind of how the lexicon that we use these things towards. Yes, if you want to get absolutely everything, you could spend a lot of money. Same thing with cable. If you got everything that they offered and all that stuff, you'd spend a lot of money. So the thing about cord cutting, streaming, and all these things is pick, choose, come, go, leave, all that stuff. There's only so much time in the day. There's only so much that you can consume and all that stuff. You don't need everything. And there's so much available now. You don't need a subscription for. You can just for purposes of, finding out where you left off and all that stuff. Like Tubi. Tubi's absolutely free, but if you just, log in and all that stuff, it knows where you left off, what you've watched, and then it's easier for recommending things. But if you don't want to do that, you don't have to, and it's absolutely free and all that. There's tons of things like that But I know some people, I need my Netflix, I need my Hulu, I need my Amazon Prime, I need all this, and before you know it, boom, 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 you're over $100 and all that stuff. That is very easy to do. And then throw in a sports subscription or this and that and all that stuff too, and Plex Pass and all that stuff too. So a lot of it is free. A lot of it, yes, you will pay for and all that stuff, but you pick and choose. And I know that seems like I don't want that control, I don't want that power, I just want to set it and forget it. I just want to sit in my TV and watch things, which you can do, and you don't have to pay anything more than your internet bill. Okay? That basically cuts at least in half, if not 2/3 of the cost of cable right there, if you still use your cable for internet and all that stuff. And then you just pick and choose from there. The second issue that is coming up is these people wanting, well, I just want to pay one bill. Now, if you want to get cable, that's fine. If the value proves to be there, do that. You have one bill, you have one subscription, you have all these, but remember, there's going to be add-ons after that. If you want HBO, you want all these other things, it still adds up and all that stuff. So it's not that hard. Now, you can be crazy like me and do certain things. Now, one of the things I do, I manage my subscriptions and all that stuff, is I have two things. Can I get Apple credits for it? Because I get a lot of things that I do with Apple credits. I know people who out there who can order gift cards and get like a 10% discount or points back or something like that. And you can get Apple gift cards that way, or Google even. Another thing that I do is PayPal then too. So one of the two. So I do all those things. I get paid in either Apple credits or PayPal. Now that's me and all that stuff. So if you just want to do those things, you can do that. But I can manage my subscriptions that way and then cancel it through them, or just pay for it and all that stuff. So a lot of things I do, I know I'm crazy. It don't cost me anything to get these subscriptions type of thing. And if so, it goes through my PayPal, which covers some of those things as well. So there's different ways of doing these things that you can do. So I understand that maybe it's like it would be easier to have one bill to pay them all and all that stuff. It's like, oh, I got a Netflix, I got Hulu, everything's different and all that stuff. I can put them all in one place and take care of them. Otherwise, just put them on a calendar or something like that. Take a little bit of control, just a little work. It's really not that hard. So those are the things that are just coming up. If you hear those things, just go, okay, that's your opinion type of thing. But on the other hand, you're in control and you can do these things, and it just takes a little work. And once you get that, then you really don't have to worry about it, because it becomes a process, it becomes a system, it becomes a part of the way that you do things and all that stuff. Trust me, I'm doing it. It'll be okay. And that's how we do things here at Me and My Roku. Okay. Well, during the holiday break, John le Carré passed away, the famous spy, author, and all that stuff. His name was David Cornwell, but he had worked for both MI5 and MI6 in the British intelligence community, and was seemingly less exaggerated about his time in the service there than, say, Ian Fleming or something like that. Fleming seemed to write more about the charismatic and the fun. Oh, it's bombs and guns and stuff like that. Le Carré seemed to write very in-depth, detailed information about especially during the Cold War era type of stuff. So the significance of all this stuff was that he was my father's favorite author now, and he's gone almost 20 years now. And now I did happen to notice the passing of David Cornwell and all that stuff, and so I linking back, and it's like, well, some of the stuff through osmosis or anything like that kind of bled onto me and stuff, and I read way more of his books than I think I would have on my own, type of thing and all that stuff. Well, and I went and looked at some of the stuff available on the Roku during the break and all that stuff, noticed a couple things and all that stuff, and so if you're just, happening to look for something different or thing along those lines, not all of his work is easily available and all that stuff, and a lot of people thought that once the Cold War ended that, his career was going to be over and all that stuff, and it actually probably got a little better after that, especially his first book after the Cold War was The Night Manager, and that was a fantastic book when it first came out and all that stuff. It seems a little dated now and all that stuff. Well, it was updated and well done as a 6-part series, and that's available on Amazon Prime if you want to check that out. Tom Hiddleston and, what's his name? Hugh Laurie, that's his name. Just fantastic performances there and all that stuff. So I appreciated that, and it was pretty close to the book and all that stuff. And actually, he Le Carré kind of redid the script and all that stuff. So they modernized it and all stuff. It was very male-centric in the book and all that stuff. And actually, a lot of his books were and all that stuff. So if you have Audible or anything along those lines, or just at a thrift store or something like that and happen to come across one of his books, check it out. All that stuff. Another book that I enjoyed, and pretty good movie, was The Tailor of Panama as well. Another post-Cold War type of thing. If you're looking for the Cold War stuff, the good stuff, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy is probably one of his best works and all that stuff. And that was made into a movie starring Gary Oldman back in 2011. That is available for rent on any major platform and all that stuff. But a lot of others. Little Drummer Girl was redone. That's available on Sundance. The Constant Gardener, starring Ralph Fiennes? I don't know, one of those guys. That's available on Showtime. The Russia House with Michelle Pfeiffer and Sean Connery is available on Cinemax. And a lot of his other stuff. There's an older stuff like The Spy Who Came In From the Cold, a very good book as well. That starred Richard Burton. That's available out there somewhere. And The Looking Glass War, okay movie, sort of an okay book too type of thing. There's more nuance to some of that stuff. Back in the day, on the Cold War and all that stuff, he was like, what is all this stuff type of thing. But it's worth a check if you're just around and you need something to watch or something like that. Give it a shot. Jean Le Carré, thank you so much for all your years of service and contributions to the arts and all that stuff. David Cornwell, rest in peace, and thank you so much for the entertainment, if you want to call it that. It was a lot of stuff. Check it out if you wish, here on Me and My Roku. Okay. Well, we're having fun here on Me and My Roku here today. I'm your host, Peter Clay. That rhymes. Anyway, the holiday break. Oh, fun times here. Kind of wrapping a bow on the whole HBO Max. Got to actually use it while during the break and all that stuff, and got to watch a few things, all that stuff. Fabulous service. Glad it's here, all that stuff. It wasn't the end of the world if it wasn't, but it's here now, and thank goodness that it is. We did watch the Wonder Woman 84 on Christmas Day, and sure. I mean, it was fun to do something else as if we were going to the movies type of thing, and and for some reason they it was like 11 o'clock a.m. our time before it was actually available. Where on certain other services, we also watched Soul on the Disney Channel. That also Disney Plus. That came out right away. I mean, Christmas Day type of thing. This is like, I don't know, HBO Max should maybe had a countdown or something like that. For some reason, I don't know. If they were trying to prevent everyone running at once, they kind of failed on that level, kind of trying to, by pushing the time off like that. But oh well. It is what it is. Soul on Disney Plus, I enjoyed it. It was fine. The animation was unbelievable and all stuff. It was so realistic as far as the human parts go. Is like, why didn't they just use humans? And that kind of works itself out halfway through the film and all that stuff type of thing. And then when you get to the other part and all that stuff, and they're all just lines and all that stuff. But it was cute. It was the best Pixar movie. It got very good reviews, and I don't know, is that just in comparison to everything else that's out right now? I don't know. It was fine and all that stuff. My viewpoint on these things, if you get a ticket to the great beyond, if you think that life is all worth living for, especially during a pandemic and all that stuff, and someone's giving you a free pass to something and all that stuff, I don't know. Run to the light, maybe? I don't know. But everyone's just like, no, I want to live. Anyway, that's a side issue, philosophical topic for another day. Wonder Woman 84. Let's just look at it from a Roku perspective. It was available. It was there for you and all that stuff. Fine looking film and all that stuff. It was fine. Look, the main characters were really good. Gal Gadot and Chris Pine were really good and all that stuff. The rest of it, I actually do appreciate the fact that the villains aren't necessarily villains for villains' sake, that there was a purpose and all that stuff, and you get consumed with your wants and needs and all these things and all that stuff, and it overwhelms you type of thing and all that stuff. So that part was kind of okay. The rest of it, for 2.5 hours, but the rest is up to you and all that stuff. Should you not see it and all that stuff, it's available on HBO Max. We went through all this trouble to get HBO Max in our Roku, and you're not going to watch Wonder Woman 84? Come on, get out with it. Take some time, either in an early morning type of thing, or take a day off or something like that, and just watch a darn movie. It's fine. It's fun. It's fun. It's okay. Was the first one better? Yeah. And then the opening scene, you really, it doesn't hit you over the head of why that's there type of thing, because there's a point to it towards the end and all that stuff. And it's just like, oh yeah, remember when you were a kid and all that stuff, but anyway, that's the point. So anyway, enjoy. So now that we've gotten over that, what's next? Well, and there's seemingly no issues with this now. Now there's another streaming service out there for you. Discovery Plus is here. Oh, da-da. And maybe some people once again are saying, oh great, another service. Now add that on there. Now it's good. Now I might as well just get cable, because all these things. Okay, couple things. One, you don't need to get it if you don't want. But when you look at all the networks that are on there, let's leave some of the things that they added on there, like A&E and history and all that stuff. They really don't add that much more to it. Just think about everything that they have. So Discovery, Discovery Life, Discovery ID, HGTV, Food Network, OWN, the things that are a part of the Discovery Scripts channels. That alone right there, isn't that about at least a third of what you get cable for anyway? And for $5 with ads, let me tell you one thing. I don't really ever tell you what to do on this show. But let me tell you right now, I really recommend the ad-free. It's only $6.99. That makes a big difference. You can plow through a lot of these shows, in especially the half-hour ones, in a good chunk of time. All right, there's a couple of things. One, it wasn't available right on the Roku right at the opening minute type of thing. It was available on everything else, Apple and Amazon Fire and all that stuff right off the bat. There was a little glitch in there with Roku, but it was there by the end of the day type of thing, and it was and everything works fine and all that stuff. A couple of other issues I had on my own, like not putting the right email address and all that stuff. But besides that, I figured it out and all that stuff. A couple other things too. Not everything is available there. I mean, believe me, there is enough to rot your brain there for years on end. available. But a couple things that you might be fans of the show, like House Hunters and House Hunters International, and there was a couple cooking shows and all that stuff, and Say Yes to the Dress and all that stuff. A lot of these things coming out not until January 29th as part of their own free-form streaming channel, 24/7 type of thing. So there's having dedicated services just for those coming later at the end of the month. Other than that, one of the things I was also afraid of was they weren't going to have current programming as they're coming out. No, that's all there, stuff like that. So the new Kids Baking Championship and a whole bunch of other different shows are available all right away. The new Magnolia stuff for if you like Chip and Joanna games, they're all there for you. There's enough of them to rot your brain forever and all that stuff and feel wholesome family stuff right off the bat there. And then just things that I forgot, like DIY Network and what's the Discover America or something like that. Got some barbecue pit masters in there and all that stuff. So again, without commercials, it just makes things up. Science Channel, wow, that seems to be the I guess the stepchild that we don't talk about over there because it's seemingly not being included in a lot of these services except for Philo and a couple other things and all that stuff, or it's an add-on for Hulu and stuff. That's on there, and all their shows are available now too, in case you want to learn something. So, not that I feel bad about this or anything like that, but I have to give it an A+. It's a slight disappointment of a few shows not available right off the bat, but again, so many shows are there to rot your brain with, like Married at First Sight and all that stuff. You can plow through a whole season in one night, type of thing. All that stuff. So if you're into that stuff, again, if you want a cable subscription, you can, or you can get this, and that, like I said, it feels like a third of that. So between Disney Plus, Discovery Plus, and Netflix, I think right there you could, I think, that's still less than cable if you just got those services right then. And then just add a Pluto TV and a Philo, or not a Philo, Tubi, or something like that as well. I think you're covered, but that's up to you. I can't tell you what to do and all that stuff. I'm just telling you this stuff's available. This is what we're doing here. We're on a 7-day free trial right now too. Check that out if you want. It's worth a shot as far as that goes, and definitely for the trial, get it without the commercials, type of thing. And if you need to cut corners or something like that, I'm sure the ads can't be that bad, are they? Anyway, so Discovery Plus, A+, why not? Give it a shot here on Me and My Roku.
Baby, come on. Ooh, ooh, sha-da-da-da-doo-da-doo.
Okay, kids, gather around. Not too close. Keep your distance. That way we don't have to wear masks or anything like that. We can come together a little bit here, have a little chit-chat about things and all that good stuff. The bandwidth of this podcast and all the podcasts I've done since 2005 has been made possible by the Internet Archive, available to you at archive.org. Lots of things going on there. Their mission is to provide universal access to all knowledge. That is their goal, game plan, all good stuff. Their mission plan. People increasingly are turning to the Internet Archive to preserve and protect all the information that's out there and all that stuff. Not just on the internet, just 78 records, microfilm, anything that you can think of, any type, any book or anything along those lines. If there's something they don't have or anything like that, they'll take it. Either to get a better copy of something that they have, or just to have it. We got to preserve these things. So I can't think of anything like it. I have no kids, or anything like that. I have no other legacy and all that stuff. This is it, my voice, to be preserved forever through the Internet Archive, thanks to your support and all that stuff. So if you're looking for something to, a mission to get behind yourself or anything along those lines, check them out today at archive.org. A lot of the things I do, just about everything I do to get the programs that I review here for you and all that stuff and discuss and all that stuff, I get through gift cards and all that stuff. I know I'm crazy and all that stuff, and I don't expect anyone to go through the great crazy details and all that stuff. I just found a way to do these things, and I enjoy them, and it would behoove me or anything like that not to at least, share the knowledge and all that stuff with you. So one of the ways that I do that is through at swagbucks.radioaffliction.com. If you go to that link that I just told you, or go to the link where you get this podcast, that gets you all set up. And you can just check it out for yourself. If you want to do surveys, you can do surveys. If you don't want to give up your personal information, you don't have to. I basically run computers in the background that run videos and all that stuff. And all that stuff. Now in the new year and all that stuff, ads stuff starts going down quite a bit. We had an election and a holiday season during a pandemic and all that stuff, and it worked really, really well for me. I have quite a little backload of stuff there, so I can check all these programs out for you and all that stuff to recommend to you, like I did for Discovery Plus and all that stuff. So, if you want to check that out check it out again today at swagbucks.radioaffliction.com and all that stuff. And if you want universal access to all knowledge, please check out and consider supporting the Internet Archive at archive.org. Okay, some news and notes. Quibi. Remember Quibi? No, no one remembers Quibi and all that stuff. Did you ever watch the movie Naked Gun 2.5? There's a scene where the main character is at a bar and the woman is singing sad songs, and on the wall of the bar there is a picture of disasters. So there's the Titanic, there's the Hindenburg. I'm not laughing at disasters here. So there's the Titanic, the Hindenburg, Michael Dukakis, and then there's Quibi. So that's what was on there. So it was a try. It didn't work and all that stuff. It just took a lot of money and all that stuff. And they think, hey, this is what people want type of thing. Well, where is all that content going? Because there was apparently a lot of stuff. Apparently, I don't know. Well, anyway, Roku's in negotiations to acquire the Quibi content. Apparently, to put it on the Roku channel. Now, I never saw Quibi, never watched Quibi, never wanted Quibi, mostly because it wasn't available on the Roku. But so anyway, and all those people who thought that Roku was in trouble and all that stuff, it's like, if you're not on Roku, do you really exist? Type of thing. So anyway, if it shows up on the Roku channel, I might check it out and all that stuff. But if you were a Quibi fan, if there was something that you liked or you didn't get to the end of and all that type of thing, you may have a salvage opportunity there on your Roku with Quibi. We'll see. Again, for all those who thought that Roku was in trouble because Amazon reached 50 million active users, well, Roku blew by that, adding 14 million subscribers or active users over the year 2020, and now sit at 51.2 million active accounts on Roku. And apparently over 58.7 billion hours were streamed last year. Wow. I think there was a pandemic going on or something. Hey, what's the number one show of all time in the history of Sundance Now? Do you know what it is? Anyway, any guesses? Think about it. It's A Discovery of Witches. Didn't see it? Anyway, well, if you want to check it out now, first season available on Sundance Now right now, because season 2 coming out January 9th. We watched it. 8 episodes, I think it was. 8 or 10. We got through it all in one day and all that stuff, and it was, pretty good type of thing. It started better than it ended, but, it's okay type of thing. So maybe we'll check out soon, because there was a little bit of a cliffhanger at the end of season 1. Did they escape? Are they safe? What's going to happen? How did they get back? Check it out. Sundance Now. If you wish, you can use your Apple gift cards at that. I don't know. I got some sort of a deal. I think that was a T-Mobile deal I did there. Check it out. It's also available on Shudder and AMC Plus. So if you want to see what happens when a vampire and a witch gets together when they're not supposed to, check that out January 9th for the season 2, or check it out for free right now on some of your stuff. Actually, some of those I saw on AMC, I saw that you could get the first episode, and then they wanted you to subscribe after that. How dare they? Speaking of subscriptions, Peacock. Yes, now the official home of The Office. That's a big deal to a lot of people, okay? I don't get the show myself because maybe I lived it myself and I didn't need that reminder type of thing. But some people who just go hog crazy now, some people now are just like, well, only the first 2 seasons are available. The first 2 seasons are available on the free tier. Let's say that again. On the free tier of Peacock. All episodes are available on Peacock. If you get the Peacock Premium, it's only $4.99. And I probably recommend that if you want to get it. It's actually, the commercials are actually not that intensive. They come and they go, and it's fine. It's actually, as a matter of fact, they don't give you enough of a break. Sometimes you want to go to the bathroom and get a beer or something like that, and you're back already? Oh, jeez. Type of thing. So Peacock is actually a sneaky good service. And that was one of the reasons why I had to, well, I didn't have to let go. I let go of Hulu for a while because a lot of the shows I was watching were just available there. Then I also found out some of the shows that I've been wanting a long time that weren't on YouTube TV, like the History Channel and A&E, are on Peacock. And I was like, okay, that scratches that itch. So sneaky good service, Peacock there. Now, we were talking earlier about these things, and it was like costing more and all that stuff. Here's an interesting New York law saying that streaming services have to send you a reminder before auto-renewing. So now these people are getting, this is how they get you to everything. That's why it's more than cable, because, you subscribe to these things and then you don't know that you're subscribing to them and all that stuff. You forget about it and all that stuff. Well, now, before auto-renewing, they have to. Now, that's just a law in New York. Is that a big enough state? If it was California, it would say, okay, more people would, just is it cost intensive to do it for everybody then? But we'll see on that. So check that out today. Well, I'm getting a little itchy, a little twitchy. I should get back to my Roku and all that good stuff. I want to thank you for listening and all that stuff. If you want more of this stuff, I am putting more and more stuff on meandmyroku.com. If I get a thought or something like that, I can just put it up there, or if something comes up right away, I can put that up there, and you don't have to wait a whole week or so for the next podcast to come out. If you're interested in how I get my gift cards for streaming and all that stuff, you can click on the link where you get this podcast, or you can go to swagbucks.radioaffliction.com and check it out for yourself. Thank you to archive.org for their support and all the bandwidth they've provided for me and my podcasts over the last a long time, 2005. If you wish, you can subscribe to the Me and My Roku podcast. Please do, because that helps me know how things are going here. And it's just easier for you. It comes right to your device, whatever you listen to me on. Subscribe to the Me and My Roku podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, Amazon Music, Ghana, JioSaavn, Himalaya, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartMedia, Podbean, Pandora, and Radio.com. Follow me on Twitter at Radio Affliction and on Instagram at Pierre Argyle. And for more questions, comments, one-on-one interaction, anything along those lines, email me at meandmyrokupodcast@gmail.com. Hey, I hope you are enjoying you and your Roku as much as I'm enjoying me and my Roku. And I'll be back with you real soon.